Welcome to Creative Pages with Catherine. I'm Catherine, and I am here with sketch number 4 from the Creative Memories virtual crop for July 2023. You all have voted on my YouTube community tab, and you're going to see me work with the Fur Baby collection. And I'll be doing the Fur Baby dog this time. I did the Fur Baby cat for sketch number 2. If you're interested in that, you can go check it out. So let's go ahead and get to it. I need to switch over cameras just one moment here. All right. This is sketch number 4. I'm going to hold it up so you can see what the Creative Memories recommends for measurements and what I've done here, which pretty much usually never match. Just an FYI. I also have 2 sheets of our Hot Fudge cardstock, and I've pulled out a couple of our trimmers here just to show you. I used both our Creative Memories 12-inch trimmer, which this one was our special birthday edition trimmer. And then this one is our 12-inch decorative trimmer, which I am going to show you what I've done with it, but it's kind of a little bit trickier, and I wanted to show you before I really got into this that it has a little arm that pulls off the side, and there are numbers here. It's really kind of light to read because it's essentially etched into the white here. And so my first one, I lined up at this number 7 on the bottom, and so that's where I just wanted to show you. And then I used this right track here. So I will explain it all in a moment. I just wanted to at least give you all a visual to go with what I've done. Let me get myself tucked in here a little bit. And so I was inspired on this sketch a little bit by these waves, and then I went to cut and I wound up with these. And I was like, okay, well, I'm not one to waste paper. I tend to use scraps a lot. And so I was like, we're just going to go with it. So when I did my first cut, I thought about it because I also saw that there's this down here. And that actually worked with this. So I took the sheet that has the orange background with the little white hearts, and I flipped it over, and it has all of the words on it. Well, since we're doing a 2-page layout, I needed the words to be able to be read correctly on both pages. So make sure when you put your page into your trimmer the first time, you put it in going this way. So that way, when you're cutting with that blade, you're getting your words to come out correctly so that you can actually read them on the page if you choose to use a page that has words or any kind of pattern that is directional, basically. So these are going to be my middle strips, and I am going to add to it a little bit. And then I also, like I said, I'm not one to waste paper, so I went ahead and cut a little bit off the top as well. Essentially, that first strip was at the bottom of the trimmer at the 7, and then the rest of the time I lined up the paper to the top part, and I used the number 1 mark on it, which they are inches, but it's, like I said, it's a little bit harder to read, so I just wanted to let you know it was the 1. And then I also lined one up at the bottom one twice, and you do have to flip your paper and just make sure that you're getting your cuts to line up and to look symmetrical, cohesive on that trimmer. Like I said, it's a little bit trickier. And then at the end, what I did was I went ahead and I put my paper into my 12-inch trimmer. I basically had one that was on with the longer part of the paper hanging down. I stacked them, and then I made my straight cuts. So that way my straight pieces are the same height, and also for the top of my page as well. and I just took the middle pieces out and essentially wound up with a not quite 2-inch piece left of this paper. And I tried to find a use for it, but it just didn't work with this layout and with it being a 2-page layout. So I will come up with another use for it another day. I also went ahead and did a second sheet of the designer paper. This is the one that has the dog bones on it. And on the back side, it's a really faint gray dot. And that's kind of hard to see. Maybe if oh, nope, that's worse. That's also worse. Let me get back to my setting that I know works well with the patterns. You're just going to have to take my word for it. It has a bunch of dots on it on the back side of the dog bones. And so I cut at 4 inches twice. I stacked the sheets. I turned it in the trimmer. I cut at 6 inches, and essentially you get 6 4x6 mats from one sheet of designer paper. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my regular tape runner. We're going to go ahead and start putting these pages together. And there we go. Just going to line this up on the bottom of the sheet here and do the same thing on this other side as well. And with the tape runner, really just a little bit goes a long way. It's very sticky. It holds very well. I usually just stick a little bit in the middle just to make sure that the middle stays flat as well. Here we go, lining this up along the bottom edge as well here. Get myself back onto the camera because I am still trying to figure out where my edges are on this new setup for me. We just had our big cross-country move, and it's a new desk, a new setup, trying to figure out where everything is, and why not live stream while doing it? It's fun. I don't know. I know I have a different set of fun than most people, though. So, all right, let's get this at the top of the page here. I'm just going to scoot this one over so I can actually reach and see the top of the page a little bit easier here. Lining this up. And there we go. I didn't push too hard until I knew I had it where I wanted it. And, of course, this one's sticking to my arm now because I left it with the tape side up. But, that's okay. Line this other side up here across the top. Uh-oh, I wound up off a little bit. It's a good thing I didn't press down. Let me check and line up my corner first, maybe. It's hard to see with the other sheet of hot fudge cardstock underneath there. You all get to learn from so many of my little mistakes here along the way. But, hey, it shows that we're all human, right? We all can make those little mistakes. I'm going to grab my scissors because this one is hanging off the page just a hair, and there. Okay, now these middle ones are going to line up kind of through the middle, but what I want to do is place my mats first, so that way I have a good reference point for that, because I'm going to put these going up on the corners here. And then this other one is going to go across the bottom here, which it fits because since we started at the 7 on the trimmer, that's roughly 5 inches for the top peak of the bumps, decorative ridges. I don't know. Anyways, so I wanted to kind of place this above this one, but below this other one, and I didn't necessarily want that beyond, but I kind of want that centered a bit. So we'll put this one last. We'll do our mats first, and then I'll get my centerpiece done, I think, is what's going to wind up happening here. So here we go. I can tell I've been talking a lot tonight, doing all this live streaming. My voice is starting to go a little bit. Goodness, I'm out of practice. Let's get these stuck down. All right. And I'm leaving about a half an inch for those who like to know off the edge of the page, but it's pretty much flush with the bottom as well. And again, I'm going to leave about a half an inch on this side of this one as well, running along the bottom, and I'm going to do the same on the bottom here as well. Let's go ahead and just put the tape on all of these. Let's move this up a little. Okay, so there's that. And I'm still on the camera pretty well. What do you know? Like I said, still up. Now it's, of course, I'm going to have to figure out some way to keep these things from slipping. I'm probably going to have to grab out my 13 by 13 cutting mat, but that was something else I couldn't find in the boxes before I went live. So, and I only have one of those. All right, this one we're going to center just underneath the middle here, kind of following some of our bumps a little bit. There's that one. And we're going to get this one going as well. Up here. And there we go. Now we should be able to get this placed right through here. Isn't that nice when it works out just the way I think it's going to happen in my head? I think we all like it when that happens. Okay, I'm going to grab my parchment board a minute and my repositionable tape runner, just because with these having these little skinny parts and wide parts, I don't want to get tape all over everywhere or have to try to fold over the regular tape runner. So making my life here a little bit easier. There we go. Done and done. Oops. All right, let's get these on. And I love the brown and this shade of orange. It's just so pretty together. But we're also going to add a pop of green as well, because we have some green in our words. And just trying to make sure I'm kind of lined up here. There we go. So we had some green in our words, but we also have these grassy borders. And like I said, I was inspired a lot by, for whatever reason, the middle part of the sketch just inspired me a little bit more than, I don't know, some of the other parts. I just was checking out all the waves for whatever reason. Plus, besides the fact that I actually knew where my decorative trimmer was, which I think is a miracle right now, half miracle maybe. So we're going to add the grass in through the center of our little piece here. I think I thought about putting it on top. I thought about putting it underneath, but then I thought, you know what? Let's just go for it and run it through the center. I think we had enough space. Now, when you do your cutting on your decorative trimmer, I would suggest making it just a little bit wider. But you know what? Mine were already cut, and I don't like to waste the paper, so I went with it. And I spied this doggy here, who was going to be on my page down here. And we're going to add these green tennis balls because we're going to keep that little green color. And this playtime sticker we're going to pop up on foam squares because this one has just a nice green ring going around it. So let me just do this. I probably should have grabbed out the larger foam squares for this one, but that's okay. I'm going to use up 3 of the smaller ones. Since I put more on a page, it seems like we always have more of the little ones. So I'm going to angle this playtime over here. And we're going to get our dog is going to be watching where these balls are going. Let me put this up here a minute. And let's see, where do we want these to go? I kind of was looking at, do we want to put this one here and this one up here, vice versa? Maybe have this one coming down towards the dog. Okay. Or do we put this one closer to the dog? Yep, let's do that. How's about that? So our balls are in motion, our dog is going to be at play, and I think that is it for these pages. I don't think we need more than what we have on there. We've got, when we get our pictures on, they will be the star of the page, which is the whole point. So here we go. Let me show these a little bit closer for you. This is our left side of our page. And here comes our right side. There we go. I hope you enjoyed seeing my interpretation of sketch number 4 from our virtual crop. Give me a thumbs up if you liked it. Leave a comment if you want. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so. And if you are a subscriber, I appreciate your coming back and hanging out with me and watching. Until next time.